Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Quick Expert Reviews from home. Today we've got the IMO Q4 Pro, which has just recently arrived on the British market. And to be honest, it is quite an impressive device, especially for the price you pay, because it is around £60 and it can be bought exclusively from Tesco Mobile. So as usual, we're going to start with the unboxing. So what we've got in here is a micro USB cable, which is pretty interesting in 2020. However, as you can see as well, we've got the replaceable battery, which is very, very surprising in 2020. And it's actually a good thing, because obviously if you've got a sealed unit with a battery built in, you can't replace it if needed. If you don't, then when the battery dies, you just replace it like good old days. And then we've got a quick start guide as well. That explains how to put the battery into the phone and what's what, which button is where, and so on. So pretty straightforward. I'll show you where everything is anyway. So that is the device itself. Looks really nice. I have to admit, it does look really nice. It is a bit of a fingerprint magnet, the back, but it looks really nice. Shiny glossy plastic. Now we've got a power button, we've got the volume down, volume up on the side, as you can see in here. Then going up, we've got the charging port and the headphone jack, which isn't that obvious nowadays in smartphones. Nothing on the right side. And then we've got the speaker, bottom firing speaker on the very bottom, which obviously I will test at the very end of the video. As you can see, I've had it for 30 seconds, and you can see a lot of finger marks on the back. Then we've got the ultra wide lens on the back and the standard lens. So the ultra wide is 0.3 megapixels and the standard lens is 8 megapixel lens. Then we've got the SIM card slot and a memory card slot up to 64 gigs. And now we're gonna slide in the battery into the actual phone. So pin connectors are on the very top, pretty straightforward. And then you put the back cover on the phone, and that's pretty much it. You can press the power button and the device charges. It does come with a screen protector out of the box as well, which is always a nice addition and saves you some money if needed. I have to admit, it is really growing on me. Right, so on the phone itself, we've got the Android 9 Go edition. So as the phone does support 1 GB of RAM and 16 GB of internal storage, Android Go is a really good choice, I have to admit. We've got the security update from February the 5th this year, so pretty much up to date. We do have some additional gestures if you want to in the settings. So we've got the prevent ringing and jump to camera. So when you press the power button twice, it goes into the camera. Now, if you do have a secondary app, like Snapchat, for example, obviously you can use that as well. So your default camera app would be Snapchat if needed. Okay, moving on, let's have a look. What else we've got in here? Digital Wellbeing, which allows you, if you're thinking about buying the phone for the minors, your children, or anything like that, you can set parental controls, and you can obviously see how much time they spend on certain apps. Accessibility, as it is pretty much plain, straightforward Android, is quite rich. Then when it comes to security and location, you actually have IMO's own face unlock, and as you can see, it's pretty fast, I have to admit. So it's not using the Android weird trusted face. It is actually has a built-in IMO face unlock, which is secure, fast, works really well. Especially that, it doesn't have a fingerprint sensor, but fingerprint sensor doesn't really work when it's raining, while it does work pretty well with your face. Now, in terms of memory card, you can set it up either as additional storage, or you can set it up as external storage. So if you do it as internal storage, that means then you have combined storage. So for example, you've got 16 gigs on the phone, and then you put, let's say, 32 gigs. So your full internal storage is 48 gigs. But you can do it as separate, like I've done now. So you've got 32 gigs separate, and then 16 gigs of internal storage. that is one of many benefits of Android Go, to be honest. So when it comes to audio profiles, if you'd like to get a shortcut to prevent ringing, the same one as you had in your gestures. Then if you'd like to, you can set the navigation bar as you've got it on the latest Androids as well. So we can hide it if we want to, or we can do a swipe up from the home button. So like you've got with the quite expensive Pixel phones or any other stock Android phones, you can set it up as a gesture, so you don't have to go between back, home and recents. You can just set up gesture-based system. I prefer the 3 buttons since I've actually joined the Android team in 2007, but obviously if you want to, you can change that. Then obviously if you'd like to, you can also adjust the text size. Considering it's an HD display, it does work really well. You've got a 5.45 inch display, and then you've got the screensaver as well. So if you'd like to, you can adjust that. So when the phone is charging, for example, it can display certain information, like for example clock, date and so on. Okay, then moving on, what else we've got? In terms of battery, we've got a 25 mAh battery, and to be honest, it does last quite a lot. So when I charged the phone for the first time and did use it for quite a long time watching videos, I think it lasted around 7-8 hours, which is pretty decent considering it's on 25 mAh battery. And when it comes to talk time, it lasts around 11-12 hours, so pretty decent battery life. When it comes to connections, we've got a Bluetooth. Sadly, there is no NFC, so no Android payments, but at least you've got a Bluetooth. And then obviously you do have Wi-Fi and standard data connection as well. The phone does support 4G and LTE, which means that you can run it on a 4G network, which isn't always a given, especially considering the price of the phone, which is what, £60. When it comes to pre-installed apps, we've got a camera, we've got the FM radio, we've got the Gallery Go, we've got the Gmail Go, we've got the Maps Go. Now, when it comes to Maps Go, it's basically a shortcut to Google Chrome Maps. So like you would be accessing the maps from the Google Chrome, but there is nothing stopping you from downloading standard full-blown apps as an app, which is also a nice benefit of Android Go. So you can have either Go Edition apps, which are web-based apps, or you can have full-blown Gmail, full-blown Google Maps if you'd like to. So I'll just show you now how it works. Okay, and you just download Google Maps. Sorry, that's an update for the Google Maps Go. These are standard apps that are maps that are built into the app itself. So let's have a look. And yep, here we go. So we've got a Maps Go, standard Maps Go, like I showed before, the Chrome-based ones, which have been now updated. And then you've got the standard full-blown apps. There isn't much difference, but obviously it is easier and faster to use the proper maps if you want to. You can obviously use Instagram if you'd like to. I've watched Netflix. You've got a pre-installed music player. You can play Pokemon Go. You can use TikTok. You can use Snapchat. You can use full-blown YouTube as well. So again, like I said, considering the price, it's a really decent device. Now, when it comes to the camera, obviously the picture samples will be at the very end of the video, but let's go through the actual camera settings. So we've got, as usual, the flash setting, so auto, switched off or not, HDR mode, and then this is the bokeh mode, so you can kind of blur the background when you take a picture. Then you can obviously adjust the face as well, beautify it, remove some spots as well. Now, when it comes to additional settings, you just slide from the left and you've got the manual mode, which allows you to adjust the exposure, the ISO, the white balance, and you do have contrast and saturation as well. So, you know, pretty basic phone as you would think, but not really. It does allow you to change quite a lot. Then you've got a burst mode, panorama and filters. So if you'd like to, you can add filters to your photos, and you can check via live view how the photo will look before you take it. And then we've got a night shot. And like I did mention, you will see the picture samples at the very end of the video. If you want to, you can use the volume button as a shutter, the volume, or as zoom as well. And then you've got a quick capture, like I did explain at the very beginning, and you can choose which camera you want to take it with. Then you can choose how you want to save your picture, so 4:3 or 16:9 ratio. Picture quality kind of tries to over sharpen the pictures a bit. I kept it as standard, and then you've got the composition line as well. AI detect tries to detect the face and tries not to blur anything else in the picture, and that's pretty much it when it comes to the camera. As you can see, everything works pretty smooth. That is obviously not because there's only 1 GB of RAM, but that is because you are running Android Go. And you, obviously, if you want to, you can record videos as well in Full HD 1080p. Even though the display is HD ready 720p, you can still record in 1080p if you'd like to. So that's that. Overall, pretty impressive handset, I have to admit. And even the speakers might not be the loudest, but at least they are quite clear. So yeah, let's have an actual listen to how it sounds. And that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching another episode of Quick Expert Reviews. If you want to pick the handset itself, it is available via Tesco Mobile. The link in the video description below. Have a great day, guys, and stay safe. Take care. Bye.